Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents The Current with me, your host, Valerie, and sometime co-host, Miss Purrington. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. We started this podcast earlier this year. We love interviewing funny people and sharing their stories. We'll be bringing you articles and podcasts featuring the best in Austin comedy in all its shapes and formats. I like doing these interviews in two parts, the past and the current. Consider these bite-sized ways for you to get to know the folks that make the Austin comedy scene one of the best in the country. And now the current with our guest, Devon Walker.
Hey.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
We got on this long rant.
We talked about a bunch of things off mic.
Yeah, and I'm like, we're not recording.
Yeah.
This is good stuff for recording.
It would have been good.
It would have been.
Now it's just between you and I. Now it's just, it's our thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So one of the things that I like to do with the current is talk about the stuff that you have to promote. And one of the things that you just got through doing is being in Denver and performing in one of the almost as good cities for comedy as Austin, but not quite as good as Austin.
Yeah. I think Austin has spoiled me, honestly.
Yeah.
There's so many good people here.
Yeah. When I travel, I make it a mission to go check out the comedy scenes. And I'm like, yeah, I love Austin. It's fun to be in LA, and I haven't seen actually New York comedy yet, but LA is cool.
Yeah.
I was in Denver recently and got to see the famed Comedy Works. But you got to perform in Denver.
I did. So I did a handful of mics. Just disclaimer.
Yeah.
The reason I ended up going to Denver, like I was dating a girl, and then we'd bought tickets to go see her family, and then that didn't work out. We split up, and so but I still had a plane ticket. So I just decided, well, I've heard good things about Denver. Let's do Denver.
Yeah.
And then I convinced Nick to come with me.
Nice.
Yeah. Nick
He seems
Savarino's
like
another
someone
comic.
that's up for just about anything.
He is. And that's why I asked him specifically, because I just figured he would be up for it. And he was. And but yeah, we didn't get to do as many shows as I would have liked. We only really got like one real show. It was a show called Too Much Fun, which I've heard is like one of the better shows in town. We got to do that. That was our last night there. They didn't like me. I didn't have a good set.
Oh,
it happens. It happens. But we did a handful of mics. We did a mic in like this like dingy like basement kind of bar spot. But it was cool though. It was cool. The mics that we went to in Denver, like none of the hosts were lighting anyone. So they would tell you had a certain amount of time, but like I just like everybody was just getting off stage when they felt like it.
Oh.
Yeah, so it felt like it went on for like regardless of whether they were doing well or not, like they just would go. So some people were going for like 12 minutes at an open mic talking about stuff that you don't want to hear about. It's the stuff that wasn't fun. But overall, I loved Denver. I loved Denver. The mics that I did, my sets went fairly well.
Yeah.
The actual show not so well, but the city was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
And you made a realization that you are spoiled.
Yeah, I think
Austin.
so. I think so. And I don't know. I mean, Nick was telling me like it's not fair to like judge a city off of just going to a handful of open mics.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there were better mics to go to and we just didn't happen to go there. But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like on average, like I like the comics that I've seen here. But that's probably not fair. That's probably not fair for me to.
I could tell you as a consumer of comedy. Here's another way that we're spoiled. We have Last Gas Comedy. I mean, you can go to that site and you can find every show that's going on around town. You can look for comedians by name and figure out where they're going to be at. And I went on this trip and I couldn't find a comparable resource. So I was just kind of muddling my way around. It was funny. It just so happened that I was going to be up there at the same time that Kath Barbadoro was doing shows
and this is when you were in Denver? They do have a thing.
They do?
They do. It's called 5280 comedy.
Oh, that's intuitive.
Well, everything is 5280 or Mile High. There's so many things in Denver that are named like 5280 Coffee, Mile High. Shark fins. I don't.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't.
So I should have consulted with you ahead of my trip to know that was
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know about that until
you got back.
Well, no, until like right before I went when I looked. That's how we like found some mics to go to and stuff.
Huh. Okay.
But our website is better.
Yeah.
It like says exactly who's performing and
Yeah.
Last Gas. I've never seen anything like it, and it's fantastic. Shout out to Karina for putting that together.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah, and she's got like a robust day job, so I don't know how she does it.
I don't even know what she does.
She's got kids.
She has kids. Just even if she didn't have a job and she had those 2 children and did comedy and then did Last Gas, like that's so many things to do. Like, this morning I woke up and like got out of bed. I didn't take a shower. I drank 2 beers and I came here. Wow. That's been my whole day. I don't even have food in my body right now.
Here, have some chocolate.
So yeah, it's mind-boggling to me that Karina does all the things that she does.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. So besides the comics and the website, apparently that I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just and I guess when I first started going to a lot of comedy shows, I think part of why I enjoy the Austin comedy scene so much is when you go to as much comedy, you start to get to know the comics, and I think that definitely helps. And you can't get to know the comics at on a 2-day trip. We're just going to see them. Well, I guess I learned something.
For next time.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this. Okay, so you went to Denver. I know I saw you. People saw you at Moon Tower. And you've done Cap City a lot.
I've done some fun Cap shows.
Yeah.
I did that. They've got that Fabulous 50 show.
Yeah.
Or that they were doing. I think it's over now that August is over. But I've done some fun Cap stuff.
Oh, that's right. So you did fun. So the Fabulous 50 is this basically a recap, kind of. I call it recap. And again, I don't do words well.
Okay.
But Funniest Person in Austin, big contest every year hosted by Cap City to anoint the funniest person in Austin. So they brought people that competed together in August. And
it was I think it was a lot of like finalists and semifinalists.
Yeah. Based on the timing, this was your first time to compete in Funniest Person.
It was. This is my first FPIA. I remember.
How did that go? Not necessarily I got this result.
Right.
But you personally, the experience of going through that, how was that?
Well, it was nerve-wracking. I was on a Sunday. I played basketball in the morning. I remember talking to like Joe Fan and like a couple other people about their experiences. But I just knew the whole city kind of gets a buzz when FPIA is starting up. And mine was, I think, the second week. So I'd kind of seen like some people advance, but I was very nervous. I did have a few drinks before I went up, but I got up there. I had a lot of friends that came to see me. I think a couple of, my dad might have been there.
Aww.
Yeah. But it went really well. Like it went really, really, really well. I feel like that it helped me. That's the reason why I got on Moon Tower, was because of the way my FPIA set went.
Ah, okay.
And I think just a lot of opportunities really opened up. So I think FPIA is a cool opportunity maybe for people who are new to the scene to kind of get like to be showcased, because all the comics always show up, especially to the Sunday night shows. So yeah, I mean, I had a really, really good set. And I was a little bit nervous because I went over time. So like the thing about it is, like, the comics know, like when you perform in the small room at Cap City, like the host will just show you like a flashlight or like a phone light, and it's pretty obvious when they're doing that, because you can see them moving around and they show you a light. In the big room at Cap, they don't have a person who does that. They have a little light bulb that's up on the wall in the back, and they'll turn it on to light you, to tell you that you have a minute left, and then they'll flicker it when it's done. I never saw my original flick of the light. I never saw the light bulb come on the first time. By the time I knew that I was running out of time, they were flickering it at me, which meant that I was already supposed to be done. I was like halfway through a bit when they were telling me like, your time's over. So then I like rushed it and just like got through with it and then got off stage. But I was really worked up because I'd heard that they disqualify people for going over time. If you didn't stay under time, like you could, just be disqualified and not considered, which would have been devastating because it was such a good set.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of the best sets I've ever had.
Huh.
So yeah, I remember just running around like being really, really nervous about it. And Daniel Webb, the patron saint of this Austin comedy scene, just a beautiful, beautiful person. I remember him just like calming me down and like just like putting his hands on my shoulder. And this was like really our first introduction to one another.
So that's your first falling in love.
Yeah. And
everybody falls in love with him.
And and I still am in love with Daniel Webb. I'll tell him that every time I see him. But yeah, he just like soothed me and like calmed me down. I was like, hey man, like you're going to be fine. You did well. And yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
Me, him, and Avery advanced from that night.
Nice.
It was a tough night too. There was I know Jesse Hensley was on that night, and Rob Segovia. There's some funny people on that night too. So it was fantastic. So I had that. My second set for the semis I thought went well. Not as well as the first one, but I changed it to make sure that I didn't go over time. I had to like alter it a little bit, play around with it, and I didn't make it.
That's your first time through.
It was. I've heard like weird stories about like a handful of people who have like made it. I think some guy won like on his first try. Like he'd never even done comedy before.
Huh.
And he went, I forget, Maggie and I were just talking about this person yesterday, but he just like went up for FPIA, had never performed comedy before and won it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But there's been a handful of people that like just tried stand up and just were naturally great at it.
There, I did a project actually for Karina to compile a list of all of the past winners, and I'm trying to think like who.
Did you do that for that? Was that for the site?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something she's working on. So
it's
it'll
not
be
even
ready for the next year's FPIA. But I'm like, the current way for you to find it out, it's all clickbait. So it's a pain in the ass. So I'm like, I hate this. I want to be able to look at a single list. And so I did that, and then I sent it to her, and she's like, okay, I've got it.
How long has it been happening? How many years has FPI been?
Well, there's some debate about that, but I think the first winner was like 89 or 90.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a long time. It was Carry On is actually.
Before I was born.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I read when I like did a bunch of FPIA research, I was like watching other people's sets who had like done well and stuff like that from past years. Yeah. And I looked at the past winners, and they had like a Statesman article from like 2013 or something. But it was a real sketch article. It wasn't very good.
It was awful.
Yeah, it was like
Statesman's not listening.
Whoops. But I don't know. Whoever did write that, you got to do better, man. It's cool because half the people, it was just like. It's like we don't know where they're at.
Right. I remember
they're somewhere. They could be doing something. Montana. I don't know.
Yeah. It's really painful to just click.
Exactly.
And until I realized I should just come up with a list because I'm doing this, so it'd be kind of nice.
You could certainly do better than that thing. Yeah.
So Karina's got it. She'll post it. I don't know where I was going with that. Really have no idea why that came up. FPIA, the list, the past winners, somebody who did. I do know that somebody from Houston won a funniest person type contest within a year. Like it was their first FPIA.
Oh, wow. And they won it?
Kind of thing. And they won it that year. Like they were just shy of 1 year anniversary of doing comedy. Wow. And now that guy's doing a Comedy Central special. So he's
Matthew Broussard.
Yeah.
That's who you're talking about. Yeah, I just met him. He's really cool.
He's amazing.
He's really cool. And he's very funny.
Yeah.
Pretty, man. That guy's so pretty. Like that frustrates me, man. Like you shouldn't be able to you shouldn't be good looking and really funny.
Right?
And
nice.
He's smart too. And he's nice. Jesus, man. Well,
if you want to hear two geeks talking to each other, so he was super nice because when he's come through town, I've gone to see him because his background is math.
Yeah, he went to Rice University.
I'm a mathematician. So
are you really?
I've gone, to shows, and when I learned that, I geek out with him. Oh yeah, math.
You guys just talk about math stuff together.
So this last time he came through, I'm like, hey, I'm doing this podcast with interviews of comics. Oh, sure, let's do it. So yeah.
Oh, he came through?
So he came through, and it's basically half math, half comedy.
You guys are just talking about math. Damn it, and he's smart. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Props to him. I respect that.
God, I have no idea how we got to there. You're going to do FPIA next year, I assume?
I am.
All right.
I have to at least make the finals. I mean, obviously the goal is to win it, but I got my eye on the finals this year.
We were talking off mic how from my research that I couldn't find where you were hosting your own show, but it sounds, that's kind of the natural next step is you're not only just performing comedy, but curating your own show. And
that's something, like I said, me and my friend Allison, we've been talking about trying to put it together. It's just a matter of finding a venue, which has been a tougher thing.
There's so many shows. I don't know how people who are trying to curate their own show break in. Yeah,
it's difficult. And I don't really want to have to deal with like a bar. I don't want to be at like a bar or a restaurant because then you've got to deal with, there's just a lot of business stuff that's not really involved with like running a great show.
Yeah.
And so if I can, we've been trying to kind of find a space that's a little less bar-y. Maybe I like BYOB venues. Huh. Those are tight. So if we can get something like that, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So we're working on it. I do want to curate my own thing and just see how that works.
Yeah. So obviously, as somebody who's gone to graduate school, you're goal oriented, and
yeah, I guess.
Based on your degree, you're probably pretty well organized.
That's what the degree would indicate.
And some of the questions that I've asked you, there was a reason why I asked, so you're going to do FPIA next year. Mm-hmm. What is your prize? What is your goal? What are you moving towards?
Well, I mean, I think the big thing is like just wanting to have I want comedy to be my job. Uh-huh. Like I want this to be my profession, like the way that I want it. I feel like I can't describe, like I'd never describe myself as a comedian. I feel like I haven't earned that yet. I feel like that's like a special title. Like you have to like be knighted. Like I feel like I have to, like Jay Whitecotton's like he's a comedian to me. Like people who are really, and I don't know if I'm like ballsy enough to like really like cut the cord, as you put it, and like just go out and like strike out on my own. Yeah. But I mean, the end goal is just to be able to kind of dictate my own future, and sort of be in control of my own stuff. You see, I don't like to like say people's names, but there are certain comics who I've seen their careers and I would like to follow in those footsteps. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's it.
And as somebody that I'll say is really early on in your comedy career, what are the things that you see? Because like we've talked about endless times now, it seems the Austin comedy scene is so rich in the type of people that you see, and I've certainly learned this from talking to a variety of people. Mm-hmm. Everyone has such a unique take on what they do in the comedy arena. What are the things that you've learned by being immersed in the Austin comedy scene now and taken for yourself or learned for yourself, to keep you moving along towards that goal?
I think a big thing that I've learned is just to never get comfortable. Huh. Just to never, ever, because like after just like speaking with certain comics who I think are hilarious and like who I just think are like way ahead of where I'm at. Yeah. Like talking to those people, they never are really satisfied. Like they're never really satisfied. And I'd have to imagine that's how anyone who like attains any level of success is. Sure. Like regardless of what they've gotten, they're always just like, well, no, that's okay. Now I'm on to the next goal. Mm-hmm. So that's a big thing. Continuing to try to improve on, like this is something I was just talking to Martin about recently, Martin Urbano. He was back in town like briefly a couple weeks ago. And I saw him take jokes that I knew that we both knew worked. Like he'd done them, they worked. And I saw him like still tweaking them, like trying to make them a little bit better. And that's, I don't know, that was inspiring to me because that's a thing that he knew he didn't have to do. Mm-hmm. But like he still like tinkered with it. And I don't think things like that. Yeah. Things like you can always be improving what you're doing, even things that already work, and just like never get comfortable with where you're at. Because where you're at is never... It's never where you want to be. Yeah. It's never the end goal. I guess I didn't put that as eloquently as I would have wanted to, but essentially, like anything that I've ever done, like the people that I look up to have done, 10, 15, 20 times more of that, or more than that. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm really butchering this.
It's contagious. It's my inability to actually. I'm so sorry.
No, don't take the blame for. The fact that I can't articulate my thoughts, that's not on you.
No, the whole interview I've been inarticulate and putting my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, it happens. See, well, that's the thing about podcasts. It's all, at least people know that this is just people having a conversation. Right. I'm not a radio personality. We don't have to be perfect.
Yeah. Well, I do, but sorry. You gave me the entry and I had to take it.
That's fair.
I'll go on my list and find something fun to ask you, and maybe we'll move towards our closing question. Okay. What is the coolest show that you've done? And you can't say the Moon Tower Piranha Show because
that is the coolest show. Okay. Well, all right. Well,
second coolest show.
Okay. You were saying why wasn't I supposed to use Moon Tower?
Well, because all right. So I guess I shouldn't have taken that away from you, because to me, arguably, that would be an amazing thing to be able to say. Well, after a year, being able to get on this amazing festival and share the stage with amazing people and get noticed, kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah. That was the coolest thing that I've probably gotten to do. I mean, between that and my first set at FPIA, I think those really like opened up a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities for me. Yeah. But I don't know. There's been a lot of good shows. There's been a lot of really fun stuff. I did Chris Castle's Treehouse show.
Love that show.
Yeah, that one, I had one of those that was really, really, really fun. I love Buzzmill. Love Buzzkill. That's a fun weekly show. But yeah, just in terms of coolest show I've ever done, I'd have to say the Moon Tower show.
Okay. I won't take it away.
Please don't. I need that. But it was so much fun, and there were so many good comics, and I got to meet a lot of great people. So that was great.
You got to. I pretty sure I saw you at the big after parties. Just I'm not a comic, but I was starstruck, and I could imagine being in a room with people that have achieve these levels of fame with their talent. Would have been like, God.
That was really cool. Just kind of being around people who are kind of where you want to be.
Yeah.
And like just being able to I wasn't like talking like, hey, how do you do this thing? But just being able to like have conversations with them. And it was kind of surreal actually.
Yeah. So you'll be back for 17?
What's that?
Are you going to be back for 17?
I hope so. Yeah. I've heard Moon Tower doesn't take submissions.
Right.
So they just have to pick you.
Yeah.
So I hope so. Yeah.
I
hope that I get picked. I would love to do it.
Yeah.
But it's not up to me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If I could apply, certainly I would.
Yeah.
But
it's always a good festival.
Hopefully I've got a leg up in that I sort of done it before. Right. I don't know. I always feel weird saying that I've been on Moon Tower because they didn't really pick. Matt Bearden picked me.
Yeah.
And I got thrown on. But
Well, I was talking to somebody and they had this festival on their website. And I'm like, oh, it sounds really cool. And then they were like, well, it was just kind of this weird thing, but it still looks cool on the resume, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, own it.
Do what you can, I guess.
Moon Tower on the experience at a year or two into comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it.
I will.
Okay. Let's close with the final question. One word to describe your future.
Baby, whoa.
What? Surprise baby?
No, Jesus, no, don't.
Call back.
Oh, man. That was a horror. Yeah. Best word to describe my future. Optimistic.
Yeah. You've been very, very kind throughout this whole interview. So
it's been fun.
Yeah.
But my future, who knows what it holds, who knows what's going to happen, but I feel good about it. I feel good about the trajectory I'm on right now.
Yeah. That's exactly the word I was thinking.
Yeah.
Mind bell.
I can do math stuff. Trajectory.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you have any shows that are coming up? I'm not sure when this one comes out, but do you have any shows that you would like to plug? I know tonight, obviously this is not going to go out tonight.
Right.
Tonight you're on the bill for Sure Thing, which is a great show.
For Sure Thing. Let me see here. I'm doing a cancer benefit at Hotel Vegas on September 7th, and that's at 8:30. Okay. On September the 9th, I'm going to be at Peep Show at Spider House at 11:30.
God, these late shows kill me.
Actually,
I'm such an old.
You know what? I think it's. I want to say it's probably 11. 10th, I've got a show that's run by Michael Good. That one is at 11 o'clock, and that's at Strange Brew Coffee. And then I've got a few more things scheduled for like the back end of the month, like September 23rd. I've got Fair Trade, which is Jared McCorkle's show at Cafe Medici off of Guadalupe. Then I've got a show called Clickbait, which is run by Danny Riccio and Jake Rowe, and that show's at 9 o'clock on the 24th at the Institution Theater. And that's all the stuff that I can think of that I've got coming up. So we've got,
busy month.
Yeah, we got we got things happening.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Do my former clothes. Don't relax just yet. That is a wrap on Comedy Wham Presents The Current with our guest, Devon Walker. Tell us where we can find you on the interwebs.
On the internet, you can find me on Facebook at my name, Devon is my first name, last name is Walker. And on Twitter and Instagram, you can find me at Internet Devon.
Listen to part 1 for more information about how Devon got to be the comedic genius that you heard today. You've been listening to Comedy Wham Presents The Current, hosted by me, Valerie. Be sure to visit comedywham.com and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram @ComedyWham. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Devon.
Yeah, thank you.